everybody, what's up? I am using the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot deck for anybody that wants to know. The first card that we have out is Nine of Pentacles. I was seeing something in the pre-shuffle, but it was a little bit heavier, and so I'm gonna wait and see if it comes out. It had to do with like manifesting and what was motivating a manifestation, but again, I just want to wait and see if this actually ends up coming out. Next to the Nine of Pentacles, we have the Four of Wands. You can be having a good time enjoying something with this energy. Maybe you've even kind of built things in a way that maybe allows you to even function at your best or at your highest potential. Can be that energy with the Nine of Pentacles. Like this is something even that can allow you to flex your independence too. That can be something. I see somebody next to another picture, next to another person with their like arm around them in the picture. Okay, all in a row, we just got Libra, Scorpio, and Aquarius coming out. I see that you can be on a little bit of a mission right now to. You can be wanting to simplify things, and you can also be, this feels like wanting to make sure that things are in right order. Some of you too, you could be beginning a collaboration. You could have some goal that you're working towards. I am seeing a King of Wands, and then I'm also seeing a Page of Pentacles. What this means is that there can be something that you're getting into that you've been devoting a lot of your... Sorry, I'm like hearing something shaking slightly. I can't tell what it is. Sorry, guys. It's so weird. I don't know where the noise is coming from. Okay, anyway. Having King of Wands and having Page of Pentacles, that can, and Three of Pentacles in between, that can sometimes be like a mentoring situation where you can have somebody that already knows what they're doing and they can be established with the King of Wands and the Star and can be like teaching somebody. So it can be like, okay, we're working together and like I'm training you on how to do this, or like I'm showing you how to do this, I'm teaching you how to do this. So that can be something that's going on. But this can also be all energy within you. Having that be going on here, there can be something that you're doing where maybe there's like a new venture that you're beginning right now. This can even be like, I want to look around and make sure that I'm like setting everything up right within my life, or if anything's out of place, I need to correct it. I think too, having Nine of Pentacles and having Justice can indicate that you can be in a position where you actually have the freedom to be able to do this, where nothing would really be getting in your way from doing this. And you could have even set things up in this way where there wouldn't be anybody kind of like over top of you being like, you can't do this. Maybe you've set things up in a way where that's like not really something that happens now with this energy. So, you know, sometimes like you can be in a position where maybe you can't do something, or we can feel like we put a lot at risk to do something the way that we want to. This can be doing things in a different type of way where it's like setting yourself up so that you can do things in the way that you want to be doing them, and that can be possible for you. And it's not some like huge putting something or like yourself at risk in some way to do that, or like jeopardizing certain things. This can be some position where you actually can do the things that you want to be doing here and need to be doing. Now, having the Four of Wands and having Death card, it can mean that since you're doing this within your life right now, there can be something that's been well established or like had been established within your life that you can be taking down or taking apart. This can be a divorce, it can be the dissolution of a relationship or of a contract, of a living situation, something along the lines of that. This will be something that feels big. So that means too, having Four of Wands be connected with death, it can mean that your everyday is going to be looking different. And I think that you've done work to put yourself in a position to actually be able to anchor this energy and be able to do this, where, you know, yeah, I want to come back to this. Sometimes we're in a position where we feel like, I know that this would be the right thing to do, but there's like so much risk involved. And that doesn't mean there's no risk involved or there's no loss involved in this, because there definitely can be a feeling of that. But it is to say that you get to, now all of a sudden, like whatever that noise was, it completely stopped, but like I didn't do anything. I have no idea what that was. Anyway, you can have been creating things within your life in a way to set yourself up to be able to make the best decisions for yourself. And this can be kind of like a new imperative that's happening right now. Having this be connected with the Page of Pentacles, so it can be something where like anything that I look at that needs to be brought into some type of order, I'm now doing that. And because of having that Nine of Pentacles, I feel like you may have had to step into your energy in a way that would allow you to do this, that would allow you to be confident within your ability even to do this. And what that can be indicating is that if you have certain things going on that you feel like are disruptive, are not allowing for peace, are imbalanced in some way, that now is the time when those big changes are being made. And for some of you, these are like huge scale shifts that are going to be happening. So basically, you're working with this energy, the archetype of Scorpio now, and you can be going through, and anything that's got to go, it can be the time when you're actually getting rid of these things. And having Four of Pentacles and having Seven of Pentacles, this can be stuff that but it's like stuff that's like in the middle of happening, that you can be looking at this and being like, no, it's got to be done. It's got to be over now. For some of you too, I get this sense like maybe you feel like you're kind of restarting your life a little bit. Now, this is reminding me of the energy that I was seeing in the pre-shuffle. I was seeing the Devil and I was seeing the Magician. And with those two energies, when we are going to set out, and I think that this has to do with what was happening prior to this, and now you're correcting it. So this is the correction for doing this in the past. In the past, it seems like with the Devil and the Magician, you were manifesting things, but from a place of distortion. And so you were getting distorted things coming to fruition. Like whatever that was producing was also like a distorted version of what you actually wanted. So now it's like, I'm doing it the right way. And this can be a time when you're like, I learned that because I was doing things in that way before, that now I have this in front of me that has to be corrected and has to be brought back into balance. So it's just making up for what was happening before. So this isn't just something that like magically popped up and now it's just your job to take care of it. And it's like, why is this happening? You can track this back to the beginning intention of you creating this and like planting this in the garden. And now you're looking at it and the garden is looking kind of crazy. And this is a time when you come through where you're developed enough to know how to correct this and that this does need to be corrected, and something about you being in a position now where you can actually do this. So you have empowered yourself enough to do this now. And even though this can be something that's really difficult, because when we invest in things, you know, a lot of the time we can feel attached to it within 3D. Our egos can feel very attached to it, even if it's out of alignment with our best interest. There can be this feeling of grief that's connected with this. There's also what's going to need to be embraced will be an element of surrendering this, because you want the corrected version of this. And if this is not surrendered, you're basically just going to keep having whatever that like distorted version is of this. And you can be in a spot now where you're understanding that. So this comes from a place of not being like, yeah, I got the guidance and now I feel like I should be doing this. I feel like there's a deeper understanding now of like, you're doing this for yourself, to make things better for you, to make things easier, to make things right for you within your life. So you're coming at it from that place. But I do get the sense like for some of you, this can be a connection that's changing in a really big way, that's transforming. It can be a contract that's transforming, a relationship, a marriage, a living situation is going to be something that feels very big, something that is going to look very different moving forward. But there's also this feeling with this that this is right and that this is on track to be doing right now as well. Because you've been spending time looking over things. So now can be the time when you implement based off of your observations. So you can kind of be preparing to take this on, like this is the next thing that I'm going to be doing. I feel overall like this is kind of a project that you have going on within your personal life, having to do with, just having to do with your personal life stuff overall and how that's impacting you. Having Temperance and having Eight of Swords, this can be a time when like you may be a little bit uncomfortable being in this position within your life because you have like all the power in your hands with this type of energy. So it can be something that you're still figuring out maybe how to get like comfortable within this position, because I see something about like this is not like you and somebody else equally are deciding something. I see it just be like you at the head or like at the top of this. So you're like the deciding factor on everything here. You're the one that's making the calls and making the choices. You're the one that it's your responsibility to be doing this. You're the one that it's your responsibility to be taking initiative overall with this. So because of that, you can feel some added weight and pressure because you want to make sure that you're making the right decisions. You already know what's happened before and what that's led to, and you want to make sure that you're not repeating anything. But also too, having this energy of Libra, you may not want to do something that would be like too much. This can, with the energy of Libra and Scorpio, you can only be wanting to do like what's necessary in order to correct things and not do more than that. So you can be getting your bearings and also figuring out a way how to gauge this, which I think is just taking some time, because this is a very delicate balance, having both the King of Wands and then also having the energy of Justice here. Because we can see King of Wands as being connected with a fire energy that is not always concerned for the most part with collaborating at times. Because King of Wands is usually somebody where it's like they're the ones that are in charge of something. Like nobody else is really checking them for the most part. They have to check themselves. Nobody's telling this person what to do. They're the ones commanding the energy. But then you have the energy of Libra over here, which is about being collaborative, and it's about partnership, and it's about consideration. But also too, this can be trying to figure out how to be in the like high vibrational energy of Libra, And that can be the thing that has to be done here, where you're showing up and doing what you need to do with the King of Wands, but you are doing it properly and correctly. You're not doing too little, you're not doing too much. You have to find that balance of what's in the middle and how to do this. And so because of that, it can be something that it's taking some time, especially to, like, some of you, this involves relationships, and there may be a particular way you want to be showing up while it's still honest and it's still doing what it needs to be doing, like you're still being effective. And then just like figuring out how to do that exactly, so you don't feel like you're failing yourself in some way, but you also don't feel like you're doing too much in this instance. So I think this is just something that it's going to take some time overall to do. You're just finding your way as you move through this. What this can mean too is that having Nine of Pentacles and having the Death card, there could have been something that you were enjoying, kind of like, what does this remind me of? Perks. You know, when you're associated with something and so you get perks because of it. Nine of Pentacles can be the perks that you were getting from something, but because whatever this was attached to is changing, that part can also change for you too. So that can be a part that feels uncomfortable as well, where it's like, well, I was enjoying these certain benefits. That's it. I was enjoying these certain benefits that I was getting from this. So now that this is changing a bit, that means that I'm like not going to really be able, like you may not have access to those things anymore. So that can also be something too that's coming up as well. Having Nine of Pentacles going with Five of Wands, get like a fighting for power a little bit with that. This can also be about what you are going to feel happy with at the end of the day. About like what you're choosing, are you going to be good with that? For a small number of you, you could be having some like work issue. That can be something that was coming up, maybe some type of problem that was happening, or it can be like a problem with another person. But whoever the person is, I'm seeing them be in like a much lesser position. There's like a huge offset within the energy where I see one person that's in like a prominent position of power, and then I see another person that can be like very low on the ladder, but they can be having some sort of issue. But what that can also mean too is that you may be working things out associated with having to be direct and also confrontational when necessary. So that's something that can come up too, where like maybe you have pushback for doing something, but you feel like it's the right thing to be doing. So you have to kind of face that. I think you've reviewed enough too at this point that I think for the most part you feel like pretty clear mentally. I don't see this as like you have to do everything all at once. This feels more so like it's just like you're taking your time going through this, and that is just going to take the time that it's going to take in order to move through the process. We're going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting and tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.